In August 2021, something happened that made Pentagon officials lose sleep. China tested a weapon that traveled around the entire globe at speeds exceeding 17,000 miles per hour, 5 times faster than the speed of sound. When it finally came down, it missed its target by only 24 miles after circling the Earth. General John Hyten, then Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, called it a very concerning event. But here's what really scared them. They had no way to stop it. None. Zero. Today, we're diving into the terrifying reality of hypersonic weapons, the missiles that have changed the rules of warfare forever. And the worst part? We're in an arms race where defense is losing badly.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because today we're breaking down one of the most significant military developments of the 21st century, and it's something that doesn't get nearly enough attention. We're talking about hypersonic missiles, what makes them unstoppable, who has them, and why the world's most advanced militaries are scrambling to figure out how to defend against them. Trust me, this is way more intense than it sounds. Let's get into it. First, let's clear something up. What exactly is a hypersonic missile? The term hypersonic means anything traveling faster than Mach 5. That's 5 times the speed of sound, or roughly 3,800 miles per hour. Now, you might be thinking, wait, don't ICBMs already travel that fast? And you'd be right. Traditional intercontinental ballistic missiles can reach speeds of Mach 20 or more. But here's the crucial difference. ICBMs follow a predictable arcing trajectory, like throwing a ball. Once they're launched, you basically know where they're going. They fly high into space and come straight down. Hypersonic weapons are completely different beasts. There are 2 main types. Hypersonic glide vehicles, HGVs, are launched into the upper atmosphere on a rocket, then released to glide back down. But instead of falling in a predictable arc, they can maneuver, dodging, weaving, and changing course at hypersonic speeds. Imagine a spacecraft that can perform evasive maneuvers while traveling at Mach 20. Hypersonic cruise missiles use advanced engines called scramjets to sustain hypersonic speeds while flying at much lower altitudes than ICBMs, sometimes as low as 50 miles up. They're faster than any cruise missile we've ever seen, and they can change direction mid-flight. Think of it this way. Traditional missiles are like arrows, fast but predictable. Hypersonic missiles are like arrows that can steer themselves at impossible speeds, making them nearly impossible to track and absolutely impossible to intercept with current technology. So why can't we just shoot them down? The answer comes down to 3 brutal physics problems that work together to create the perfect defensive nightmare. Problem number 1. Speed and detection time. When something is moving at Mach 5 to Mach 20, the time between detection and impact shrinks to almost nothing. A hypersonic missile traveling at Mach 10 covers about 2 miles every second. That's Los Angeles to San Francisco in 3 minutes. Current radar and satellite systems need time to detect, track, analyze the trajectory, coordinate a response, and launch an interceptor. This process takes minutes. Hypersonic missiles close the distance in seconds. By the time you know it's coming, it's basically already there. Problem number 2. Maneuverability. Traditional missile defense systems work by calculating where a missile will be and placing an interceptor there, like leading a target in a video game. But hypersonic glide vehicles can actively maneuver during their flight, making trajectory prediction impossible. It's like trying to catch a hummingbird that can also teleport. Our interceptor missiles are fast, but they can't change direction quickly at those speeds. Physics won't allow it. The G-forces required to make sharp turns at hypersonic speeds would tear apart any interceptor we currently have. Problem number 3. The altitude advantage. Hypersonic glide vehicles fly in what's called the near-space environment. Too high for traditional air defense systems, but too low and maneuverable for the systems designed to intercept ICBMs. They found the perfect gap in our defenses. It's like they're swimming in a blind spot we didn't even know existed.
Now here's where things get really interesting and concerning. The hypersonic arms race is in full swing, and the United States isn't winning. Russia has been the most aggressive. They claim to have deployed the avant-garde hypersonic glide vehicle, which allegedly reaches speeds up to Mach 27. They've also developed the Kinzhal missile, which they reportedly used in the Ukraine conflict. Whether their claims are 100% accurate is debatable, but they're definitely operational. China shocked everyone with that 2021 test. They're developing multiple systems, including the DF-17 missile with a hypersonic glide vehicle and the DF-ZF. Intelligence reports suggest they're ahead of schedule and potentially more advanced than publicly known. The United States is playing catch-up. After decades of focusing on stealth technology and drones, the U.S. shifted attention to hypersonics around 2018. They're developing several programs, the AGM-183 ARRW, the long-range hypersonic weapon, and others. But they've faced setbacks, failed tests, and delays. Other players include North Korea, which claims to have tested hypersonic weapons, though experts are skeptical of their capabilities. India has tested hypersonic technology, and France, Australia, and Japan are all investing heavily in research. The bottom line? We're in a new arms race, and for the first time in decades, the United States doesn't have a clear technological advantage.
Let's talk about what we do have for missile defense, and why it's basically useless against hypersonics. The Patriot system is designed for short to medium-range threats, aircraft, drones, and cruise missiles. Hypersonics fly way too fast and too high for Patriots to engage effectively. THAAD, or Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, is built to intercept ballistic missiles during their descent phase. But THAAD assumes a predictable trajectory. Throw in maneuverability at hypersonic speeds? Forget about it. Aegis and SM-3 interceptors on ships are designed to take out ballistic missiles in space. But hypersonic glide vehicles don't go that high, and they don't stay in space long enough to engage. Ground-based mid-course defense protects against ICBMs during their mid-course flight through space. Again, hypersonics don't play by those rules. Every single system we have was designed for a different threat. It's like showing up to a Formula One race in a pickup truck. Sure, it's a vehicle, but it's not built for this. The fundamental architecture of our missile defense was built for Cold War threats. We're trying to defend against 21st century weapons with 20th century strategies.
So what's the plan? How do we solve this problem? Well, there are a few approaches being developed, though none are close to deployment. Directed energy weapons. We're talking lasers. High-powered laser systems that travel at the speed of light could theoretically engage hypersonic missiles. The Helios and other programs are testing this, but we're years away from anything operational. The power requirements are enormous, and atmospheric conditions affect beam quality. Space-based sensors. The U.S. is investing in a constellation of satellites that can detect and track hypersonic missiles from space, giving us those precious extra seconds of warning. The hypersonic and ballistic tracking space sensor is in development, but it's just tracking, not interception. AI-powered defense systems. Artificial intelligence could make decisions faster than humans, coordinating defensive responses in milliseconds. But this is theoretical and raises serious ethical questions about autonomous weapon systems. Next-generation interceptors. DARPA's Glidebreaker program is developing interceptors specifically designed to take out hypersonic glide vehicles. These would be faster, more maneuverable, and smarter than current systems. But they're still in early testing. The reality? We're looking at a minimum of 5 to 10 years before any of these solutions are operational. And that's optimistic.
Here's why this matters beyond just military technology. Deterrence is broken. For decades, Nuclear deterrence worked on the principle of mutually assured destruction. If you launch, we'll see it coming and we'll launch back. Everyone loses. But hypersonic weapons can potentially take out retaliatory capabilities before they can launch. This destabilizes the entire balance of power. The first strike advantage. Hypersonics give an enormous advantage to whoever strikes first. This creates incentives for preemptive attacks during crises, making the world significantly more dangerous. No time for diplomacy. When you have 30 minutes of warning from an ICBM launch, there's at least time for verification, communication, and decision-making. With hypersonics, that window shrinks to potentially minutes. The risk of miscalculation or accident goes way up. Regional conflicts escalate. Countries that couldn't previously threaten distant adversaries now can. A regional power with hypersonic missiles can hold aircraft carriers at risk, attack critical infrastructure, or conduct decapitation strikes against leadership. This changes calculations for every conflict. The arms race accelerates. As more countries develop these weapons, others feel compelled to as well. We're seeing the same patterns that led to previous arms races, except faster and with less transparency.
So here's where we stand. Hypersonic missiles represent a fundamental shift in military power. They can't be stopped with current technology. They're already deployed by our adversaries, and defensive solutions are years away at minimum. This isn't science fiction or a theoretical future threat. This is happening right now. The countries that master hypersonic technology will have a massive strategic advantage. The countries that don't will be vulnerable in ways we haven't seen since before the nuclear age. And everyone is scrambling to keep up. The scariest part? We're in a transition period where offense has completely outpaced defense. History shows us these periods are the most dangerous, when one side thinks they have an advantage and might be tempted to use it before it disappears. The question isn't really if hypersonic missiles will be stopped, it's when we'll develop the technology to counter them, and what happens in the years between now and then. What do you think? Are hypersonic weapons the biggest threat facing global security, or is the fear overblown? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found this video informative, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into military technology and the future of warfare. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious.